My tires screamed as I sped into the hospital parking garage. Level 1 was full, level 2 was full. So I abandoned my car in a loading zone, engine still running, and sprinted toward the emergency room entrance like the world was ending. My knees nearly buckled, but I didn't slow down. My sneakers, a gift from my daughter last Christmas, echoed against the hospital floor. That hollow sound that makes your stomach clench because it means someone you love is hurt. The last time I'd heard it in this building, I'd been running to my husband. I was too late then. "Emma Peterson," I gasped at the registration desk before the woman could even look up. "My daughter, car accident. Are you family?" "I'm her mother. Where is she?" "Ma'am, I need you to fill out—" "Where is my daughter?" My voice came out too loud. Other people in the waiting room turned to stare. I didn't care. When you get a call from the police at 10:47 p.m. saying your child has been in an accident, nothing else matters. The woman's expression softened slightly. "Let me check." Her fingers moved across the keyboard with maddening slowness. "She's in surgery right now. Trauma bay too, but you can't go back there. You'll need to—" "Carol!" I spun around. Tyler was standing near the vending machines, his face pale and blotchy. He looked terrible. Shirt half untucked, hair sticking up like he'd been running his hands through it. His eyes were red. He crossed the waiting room in 3 strides and pulled me into a hug. He was shaking, actually trembling against me. "Thank God you're here," he said into my shoulder. "I've been going crazy. They won't tell me anything." I pulled back to look at him. Tyler, my son-in-law for close to 3 years now, the man I'd welcomed into our small family, just the 2 of us after Emma's father died when she was 15. I'd raised Emma alone, worked double shifts as a dental hygienist to pay for her college. So when Emma brought Tyler home during her senior year, I'd been relieved. He was tall, well-dressed, with an easy smile and confident handshake. He'd looked me in the eye when we met, called me Mrs. Peterson, until I insisted on Carol. He seemed kind, stable, responsible, the kind of man who would take care of her when I couldn't anymore. "What happened?" I managed to ask. "The police said accident, but they wouldn't—" "I don't know." Tyler's voice cracked. "I was home, waiting for Emma to get back from the gym, and I got a call from the police saying there'd been an accident on Lakeshore Drive. By the time I got there, he stopped, swallowed hard. There was so much blood, Carol. So much blood." My knees went weak. Tyler caught my elbow, guided me to a chair. Emma, my baby, the girl I'd rocked to sleep every night for 2 years because she had colic. The teenager who'd held my hand at her father's funeral and whispered, "It's just us now, Mom." The young woman who'd called me every Sunday without fail until about 6 months ago. "Did they tell you anything?" I asked. "How bad is it?" "Internal bleeding. They said something about her spleen. They're operating now." He sat down next to me, put his head in his hands. "If I'd just gone with her to the gym, if I'd driven her, this wouldn't have—" "Mrs. Peterson?" A woman in scrubs stood a few feet away, short dark hair, intense dark eyes, a name tag that read, J. Martinez, Paramedic. "Yes?" "I was first responder on scene. I rode with your daughter in the ambulance." Martinez glanced at Tyler, then back to me. Something flickered across her face. So quick, I almost missed it. "Could I speak with you for a moment? Just some paperwork I need you to sign." "Can it wait?" Tyler asked. "We're waiting for news from the surgeon. It'll just take a minute." Martinez's tone was pleasant but firm. "Mrs. Peterson?" Something about her expression made me stand up, made the hair on the back of my neck prickle. "I'll be right back," I told Tyler. I followed Martinez down a hallway, around a corner, expecting her to stop at a nurse's station. Instead, she kept walking until we reached an empty exam room. She opened the door, gestured me inside, then closed it behind us. The click of the lock made my heart jump. "What paperwork? There's no paperwork." Martinez pulled out her phone. "Mrs. Peterson, I need you to listen to something, and I need you to stay very calm." My heart started hammering. What is this about? Your daughter regained consciousness for about 30 seconds while we were stabilizing her at the accident scene. She was delirious, in shock, but she said something. Martinez held up her phone. And then I heard something that made me start recording. She pressed play. First, Emma's voice, weak, slurred, barely recognizable. Mom was right. The vitamins. He said they were. The words hit me like a physical blow. The vitamins. Oh, God. The vitamins. 6 months ago, Emma had been sick. Dizzy spells, nausea, weakness so severe she'd had to stop freelancing for a month. She'd seen 3 different doctors. They'd run every test imaginable, found nothing. And I'd noticed that Tyler had started a new routine. Every morning, he'd bring Emma this special smoothie with supplements he ordered online. He made such a show of it, how much he cared about her health, how these vitamins were going to help her feel better. But Emma only got worse. One afternoon, when Tyler was at work, I'd said it carefully, trying not to sound accusatory because I knew how defensive Emma got about her marriage. Honey, maybe you should stop taking those vitamins. Just for a week, see if you feel better. Emma had gone rigid. Are you serious right now? I'm just saying. You're just saying what? That Tyler is poisoning me? Her laugh was bitter. God, Mom. I knew you'd never really accepted him. I knew you were just waiting for a chance to. Emma, that's not what I meant. You've been like this since we got engaged. Finding problems where there aren't any. You can't stand that I have someone else in my life now. That I don't need you for everything anymore. The words had cut deeper than she could have known, because maybe there was some truth there. Maybe I had been holding on too tight. I'd spent 28 years with Emma as the center of my universe, my reason for getting up every morning. And when she got married, when she moved into that house with Tyler, I'd felt adrift, purposeless. So I'd backed off, apologized, told myself I was being a paranoid, overbearing mother. We barely spoke for 3 months after that fight. Now, standing in this exam room, listening to my daughter's delirious voice say, Mom was right, I wanted to scream. But Martinez wasn't done. She fast-forwarded the recording. Tyler's voice, distant but clear. Yeah, I'm here. No, she's in surgery. Listen, stick to what we talked about, okay? I was home all night. You can confirm I was at your place until 9:30. Yeah, the car's totaled. Just stick to the story. The recording ended. I stared at the phone, at Martinez. My brain felt like it was moving through mud. What does that mean? What story? Martinez pocketed her phone. Her face was grim, but kind. Mrs. Peterson, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I've been doing this job for 15 years, and some things feel wrong. Your daughter's car, the position it ended up in doesn't match the skid marks, and there were almost no skid marks at all, which suggests she wasn't able to brake. Brake failure. Maybe. The car's been impounded for mechanical inspection. Martinez paused. Your son-in-law was already at the scene when police arrived. The 911 call came from a witness at 9:47 p.m. According to dispatch records, Tyler wasn't called as next of kin until 9:52, but he was on scene by 9:55. Mrs. Peterson, where do Emma and Tyler live? Fremont, about 20 minutes from where the accident happened. Exactly. Martinez's voice was gentle but insistent. So, how did he get there in 3 minutes? And why was his first phone call after arriving to someone telling them to stick to the story? My hands had started shaking. I gripped the edge of the exam table to steady myself. You think he did something? I think something doesn't add up, and I think your daughter was trying to tell you something before she lost consciousness. Martinez met my eyes. The police are going to investigate. Detective Reeves is on his way, but right now, your son-in-law doesn't know I recorded that phone call. He doesn't know Emma said anything about vitamins, and that might be important. Important how? Martinez didn't answer directly. She didn't have to. I understood. If someone had tried to hurt Emma, to kill Emma, and she survived, she might remember what happened. She might be able to identify who did it, and that made her dangerous. What do I do? My voice came out as a whisper. For now, nothing. Go back out there. Wait with him. Act normal. You're scared for your daughter. You're in shock. You don't know anything. That's all true. Just pay attention. Listen to what he says, how he says it. Martinez opened the door, peeked out to make sure the hallway was clear. I'm going to be around. If anything feels off, if you need help, find me, okay? I nodded, not trusting my voice. I walked back to the waiting room on legs that didn't feel like my own. This couldn't be real. This had to be some terrible nightmare. I'd wake up in my apartment in my bed, and Emma would call like she used to every Sunday morning, and everything would be fine. Tyler looked up when he saw me, his expression anxious. Everything okay? What did the paramedic want? Just routine questions about Emma's medical history. The lie came out smoothly, surprising me. Tyler nodded, seemed to relax slightly. Good. That's good. They need to know everything to help her. We sat in silence. I studied him from the corner of my eye. Tyler was handsome in that generic way. Tall, athletic build, nice smile. He worked in tech sales or consulting or something. I'd never really understood what he did, and when I'd asked Emma, she'd been vague. Business stuff. He's really good at it. He'd always been charming with me. Called me Mom, brought wine to family dinners, complimented my cooking even though I knew it was mediocre at best. I'd never been much of a cook, too busy working overtime to pay the bills when Emma was growing up. But now that I thought about it, had I ever really talked to Tyler, like actually talked about his family, his past, his life before Emma? I realized I knew almost nothing detailed about him. Tyler, I said carefully, you said you were home when the police called? Yeah, waiting for Emma. Where was Emma coming from? The gym, her kickboxing class. He said it without hesitation, but I knew that Emma's kickboxing class was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. She'd been going for 2 years, never missed a Tuesday or Thursday. Today was Wednesday. My mouth went dry. Right, of course. I keep thinking, Tyler continued, his voice breaking slightly, if I'd just gone with her. Or if I'd insisted she take my car instead. Her Honda's been making weird noises lately. Weird noises? I tried to keep my voice casual. What kind of noises? Just, I don't know, she mentioned the brakes felt soft last week. I told her I'd take it to the shop, but we've both been so busy and… He stopped, put his face in his hands. God, if the brakes failed because I didn't take care of it, I'll never forgive myself. He was good, so good. If I hadn't heard that recording, if Martinez hadn't told me about the timing, I would have believed every word. It's not your fault, I heard myself say. We sat there for what felt like hours, but was probably only 45 minutes. Other families came and went, a teenage boy with a broken arm, an elderly man having chest pains. Life and death, cycling through these doors every minute of every day. My life had been small and quiet for so long. Work, home, the occasional dinner with Emma when she had time. I'd given up my own dreams to raise her. I'd wanted to be a teacher once, but community college while working full-time and caring for a baby was impossible. So I'd become a dental hygienist instead. Stable. Good benefits. Not what I dreamed of, but enough. Emma was supposed to be my legacy, my contribution to the world. This smart, talented, kind person I'd somehow managed to raise on my own, and someone was trying to take her from me. Mr. Peterson? Mrs. Peterson? A tall black man in a suit approached us. He had kind eyes, but a serious expression. I'm Detective James Reeves. I'm investigating your daughter's accident. Do you have a few minutes to answer some questions? Tyler stood immediately. Of course. Anything to help. Do you know what happened? Was it another driver? We're still determining that. Let's start with you, Mr. Peterson. Walk me through your evening. They moved to a quieter corner of the waiting room. I watched as Reeves pulled out a notepad, started writing as Tyler talked. Tyler's body language was perfect. Concerned husband, eager to help. He gestured as he spoke, his face animated. But I noticed something. Every time Reeves asked a question, there was a split-second pause before Tyler answered, like he was checking his story, making sure he said the right thing. Martinez appeared at my elbow. How are you holding up? I don't know, I admitted. This doesn't feel real. I know. She glanced at Tyler and Reeves. Detective Reeves is good, very thorough. He'll figure out what happened. What if… I couldn't finish the sentence. What if Emma dies? What if she wakes up and Tyler gets to her? What if I lose my daughter? She's strong, Martinez said firmly. And you're here. That matters more than you know. A surgeon emerged from the double doors, pulling off a surgical cap. Family of Emma Peterson? I jumped to my feet. Tyler broke away from Reeves and rushed over. The surgeon looked exhausted. I'm Dr. Patel. Emma made it through surgery. We repaired the splenic laceration and stopped the internal bleeding. She's critical but stable. Oh, thank God, Tyler breathed. Thank God. Can I see her? Not yet. She's in recovery. We'll be moving her to ICU in about an hour. Dr. Patel's expression was serious. The next 48 hours are critical. She's young and healthy, which works in her favor, but she sustained significant trauma. We'll be monitoring her closely. But she's going to be okay, I asked. Needed to ask. Needed to hear someone say it. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I want to be clear, she's not out of the woods yet. Dr. Patel left. Tyler collapsed back into his chair, hands over his face. She's alive. She's alive. I should have felt relief, should have felt joy. Instead, I felt a cold, creeping dread, because Martinez was right. If someone had tried to kill Emma, and she survived, what would they do next? Detective Reeves pulled me aside about 20 minutes later. Mrs. Peterson, can we talk privately? We went to the same exam room where Martinez had played me the recording. Reeves closed the door and turned to face me. Paramedic Martinez shared her concerns with me. And the recording she made. I need to ask you some questions about your son-in-law. I don't know what I can tell you. I don't really know him that well. Reeves raised an eyebrow. He's been married to your daughter for almost 3 years. I know, but how could I explain this? Emma and I were close, very close. It was just the two of us for so long after her father died, but after she married Tyler, things changed. She pulled away, canceled plans, stopped calling as much. I thought it was normal, that she was building her own life, her own family. Did Tyler ever seem controlling? Possessive? I dug through my memories, trying to remember when it started to change. Not obviously, but there were little things. Emma used to tell me everything about her work, her friends, her life. After the wedding, she stopped. When I asked questions, she'd say, Tyler thinks, or Tyler says instead of what she thought, like she'd stopped having her own opinions. Reeves wrote this down. The vitamins Emma mentioned. Tell me about those. I explained the whole story. Emma's illness, Tyler's supplements, my gentle suggestion that she stop taking them that snowballed into our last fight. Did Emma ever tell you what was in the supplements? No, Tyler ordered them online. He said they were special blends for energy and immune support. Do you know what website? What company? No, Emma didn't. She didn't share those kinds of details with me anymore. Reeves was quiet for a moment. Then, Mrs. Peterson, I need to ask you something delicate. Does Emma have money? Savings? Inheritance? Anything like that? My stomach dropped. Her father's life insurance. He had a policy through his work. $400,000. It was put in a trust for Emma. She got access when she turned 25. That was 3 years ago, right before she married Tyler. Yes. Do you know what happened to that money? Emma said Tyler was investing it, that he was really good with finances and was going to grow it. I stopped, felt stupid, naive. I believed her. Believed him. Did you give them any money? Loans? Gifts? I thought of the check I'd written for their down payment, $80,000. Nearly every penny I had saved. I'd wanted Emma to have a home, security, the things I'd never quite managed to give her growing up. I gave them money for a down payment on their house, I admitted, and I co-signed Emma's car loan. She needed a reliable car for her freelance work, meeting clients. Tyler said his credit wasn't great, that it would be easier if I co-signed. Reeves wrote all of this down, his expression carefully neutral. Mrs. Peterson, I'm going to be honest with you. Based on what Martinez observed and recorded, I have serious concerns about your son-in-law, but I need evidence. The car is being inspected tonight. We'll know by morning if the brakes were tampered with. We're also going to request a full toxicology panel on Emma, looking for any substances that might explain her illness. How long will that take? A few days for preliminary results. Longer for a complete panel. He met my eyes. In the meantime, I need you to do something difficult. I need you to act normal around Tyler. Don't let on that you suspect anything. Can you do that? Could I? Could I sit next to the man who might have tried to murder my daughter and pretend everything was fine? I thought of Emma at 5 years old, climbing into my bed after a nightmare. "Mama, don't leave me." "Yes," I told Reeves, "I can do it." Emma was moved to ICU around 11 p.m. They let us see her for 5 minutes, one at a time. Tyler went first. I watched through the window as he sat beside her bed, holding her hand, his shoulders shaking. Either he was the world's best actor or what? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this was all a terrible misunderstanding. But then I remembered Emma's voice. Mom was right. My turn. I walked into that room and nearly collapsed at the sight of her. Emma looked so small in that hospital bed, tubes and wires everywhere, monitors beeping steadily. Her face was pale, bruised. There was a bandage on her forehead. This was my baby, my whole world. I took her hand carefully, mindful of the IV. "I'm here, sweetheart. Mama's here." Her eyes moved beneath her closed lids, dreaming, maybe, or fighting to wake up. "You're going to be okay," I whispered. "You're strong. You've always been so strong. Remember when you were 7 and broke your arm falling off the monkey bars? You didn't even cry." I squeezed her hand gently. "That's who you are, Emma. Brave. And you're going to get through this. You're going to wake up, and I'm going to be right here. I'm not going anywhere. Not this time." A nurse touched my shoulder. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Peterson. Time's up." I kissed Emma's forehead and left before I started crying. Tyler and I spent the night in the waiting room. He dozed in fits and starts. I didn't sleep at all. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that crushed car, heard Emma's voice. Mom was right. Around 3 a.m., Tyler's phone buzzed. He jerked awake, looked at the screen, then stood and walked down the hallway. I watched him pace as he talked, his voice too low to hear. When he came back, his expression was different, tighter, stressed. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Yeah, just work stuff. Had to reschedule some meetings." He sat down heavily. "God, I can't believe this is happening. Yesterday, everything was normal. Today." "Life changes fast," I said quietly. "It does." He looked at me. "Carol, I want you to know, Emma is everything to me. Everything. I would never do anything to hurt her." The words hung in the air between us. "I know," I said softly. But even as I spoke, doubt crept in like cold water. Because if that was true, why did he need to say it out loud? Detective Reeves found me in the hospital cafeteria the next morning. I was trying to force down coffee that tasted like burned plastic. "We got the preliminary results from the car inspection." He slid into the seat across from me. "The brake lines were cut cleanly, professionally. This wasn't wear and tear. This was deliberate." My hands started shaking so badly, I had to put down my coffee cup. "Someone tried to murder my daughter." Yes. The word was simple, final, horrifying. We also pulled Tyler's phone records from last night. The call he took at 3 a.m., it was to a burner phone, purchased with cash 2 weeks ago. We're trying to trace who owns it. What does that mean? It means Tyler might have an accomplice, someone who can provide him with an alibi if needed. Reeves leaned forward. "Mrs. Peterson, I need to ask, did Emma have life insurance?" I don't know, probably most people do." "We're checking. If she does, and if Tyler is the beneficiary..." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. My daughter's life, reduced to a payout, a number in a transaction. "There's something else," Reeves said. "We ran Tyler's background. He's been married before." The words took a moment to register. "What?" Emma never mentioned. 4 years ago, to a woman named Melissa Chen. They were married for 18 months when Melissa died in a hiking accident, fell off a cliff at Mount Rainier. Tyler was the only witness. The cafeteria suddenly felt too cold, too bright. "They ruled it accidental," Reeves continued. "But the detective on the case, Sandra Kim, from Snohomish County, she never believed it. The ground where Melissa supposedly fell had been deliberately loosened. Someone had dug away the soil, made it unstable. But they couldn't prove Tyler did it. No witnesses, no forensics, just suspicion." "How much did he inherit?" $300,000 in life insurance. The number hit me like a physical blow. I gripped the edge of the table to steady myself. And Emma? How much is her life insurance? We're still checking. But Mrs. Peterson, your daughter had $400,000 from her father's trust. You gave them $80,000 for a down payment. That house is in both their names. If Emma dies, Tyler inherits everything. We're talking over $500,000, plus whatever life insurance there might be. Oh my God. There's one more thing. We pulled Tyler's employment records. Mrs. Peterson, Tyler doesn't have a job, no tax returns, no W-2s, no proof of employment anywhere. Whatever he's been telling Emma about his work, there's no evidence of it. The room was spinning. I felt my vision blur at the edges. What has he been doing? How has he been paying bills? Living off Emma's money and possibly running small cons, internet scams, investment schemes. We're still investigating. Does Emma know? We don't think so. People like Tyler are very good at creating false realities, showing fake pay stubs, bank statements. Emma probably never had reason to question him. I thought of all the times Emma had seemed stressed about money. Tyler says we need to be careful with spending. Tyler's handling our investments. Tyler says we should wait on that. He'd been controlling everything, isolating her, making her doubt her own mother. What do we do now? My voice sounded hollow. We wait for Emma to wake up, hope she can tell us what happened. In the meantime, I need you to keep Tyler talking. Keep him comfortable. Martinez gave you a recording device? I pulled out the small button from my pocket. Yes. Keep it on whenever you're with him. We need him to slip up, say something incriminating. And if he doesn't, then we build our case the hard way. But Mrs. Peterson, Reeves's expression was grave. We need to be prepared for the possibility that Tyler might try again. Might try to finish what he started. You think he'd hurt her here? In the hospital? I think desperate people do desperate things. And right now, if Emma wakes up and remembers what happened, Tyler loses everything. I went back to the ICU with Reeves's words echoing in my head. Tyler was there, sitting beside Emma's bed, holding her hand, the devoted husband keeping vigil. I activated the recording device in my pocket. Any changes? I asked. Tyler shook his head. No, but the nurse said her vitals are strong. They're hopeful she'll wake up soon. That's good. We sat in silence for a moment. Then Tyler said, his voice soft, Carol, I know things have been strained between you and Emma lately. The fight you two had about me trying to help with her health. I just want you to know I never meant to come between you two. The lie was so smooth, so perfectly delivered. His voice had that earnest, vulnerable quality that probably made Emma fall in love with him in the first place. I could see it now, how easy it would be to believe him, to trust that soft-spoken concern. I know, I said, forced myself to reach out and pat his arm. You were just trying to help. I was. I love her so much. His voice cracked. She's my whole world. I can't imagine my life without her. You won't have to. She's going to pull through. But what if she doesn't? Tyler looked at me, his eyes wet. What if something happens? I don't think I could survive that. Don't talk like that. I'm just being realistic. The doctor said the next 48 hours are critical. He paused. Carol, I need to ask you something. And I'm not saying this will happen, but if the worst does happen, would you help me with arrangements? I don't have much family. My parents are gone. It would just be me and you. My throat constricted. Was he already planning her funeral? Already thinking about what comes after? The recording device in my pocket suddenly felt like it was burning through the fabric. Of course, I heard myself say. But let's not think about that. Let's focus on Emma getting better. Tyler nodded, squeezed Emma's hand. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm just scared. My phone buzzed. A text from Reeves. Come to hallway. Now. I need to make a call, I told Tyler. I'll be right back. I found Reeves around the corner. His expression was grim. We found the life insurance policy. $500,000. Tyler convinced Emma to take it out 6 months ago, right around the time she started getting sick. $500,000 plus the trust fund, plus the house, Over $1 million. That was what my daughter's life was worth to him. We also contacted Detective Kim, the one who investigated Melissa Chen's death. She's driving up from Snohomish. Should be here in an hour. She wants to talk to you. Okay. And Mrs. Peterson? The toxicology results are back. Preliminary, but clear. Emma has elevated levels of thallium in her blood. It's a heavy metal poison. Small doses over time caused the exact symptoms Emma was experiencing. Dizziness, nausea, weakness. Larger doses can be fatal. The vitamins? Most likely. We need to find them. Do you know where Tyler and Emma live? I gave him the address. But Tyler's here. He'll know if you go to the house. We'll wait until he leaves. Get a warrant. Do it right. Reeves paused. How are you holding up? I don't know. I keep thinking, what if I'd pushed harder 6 months ago? What if I'd insisted Emma get a second opinion about those vitamins? What if I'd been a better mother, someone Emma felt she could come to instead of pushing away? This isn't your fault. Tyler is a predator. He's done this before. He's good at it. Detective Sandra Kim arrived an hour later. She was in her 50s with short gray hair and sharp, intelligent eyes. We met in a small conference room the hospital let us use. Mrs. Peterson, I'm sorry we're meeting under these circumstances. Kim sat down across from me. I've been trying to catch this man for 4 years. When Detective Reeves called me yesterday, I knew immediately. Same pattern. Make it look like an accident. Collect the money. Move on. Tell me about Melissa. Kim pulled out a file, showed me a photo of a beautiful young woman with long black hair and a bright smile. Melissa Chen, 26 when she died. Software engineer. Smart, successful, kind. She and Tyler met at a networking event. They dated for 6 months, got married. Melissa's parents said Tyler was charming, said all the right things, but after the wedding, things changed. How? Melissa started pulling away from her family, canceling plans, making excuses. Her mother said Tyler was always there, always hovering. Melissa mentioned to a friend that Tyler had been pressuring her to increase her life insurance, to consolidate her savings into joint accounts. The parallels were chilling. Then, 18 months after the wedding, they went on a hiking trip to Mount Rainier. Just the two of them. They were taking photos near a cliff edge. Tyler said Melissa stepped back to get a better angle. The ground gave way. She fell 200 feet. Kim's jaw tightened. When I got to the scene, something felt wrong. The area where she supposedly stood, the soil had been deliberately dug away. It was obvious to me, but by the time I called in forensics, it had rained. Evidence was compromised, and Tyler's story never changed, never wavered. He was the grieving widow, crying, devastated. You think he pushed her? I know he pushed her, but I couldn't prove it. So he walked away with $300,000 and probably laughed all the way to the bank. And then he found Emma. Kim nodded. After Melissa, he was smart. Changed his approach. Instead of one big accident, he's using slow poisoning. More time to build an alibi. More plausible deniability. Then, when the victim is weak enough, compromised enough, he stages a car accident. Perfect crime. Except Emma survived, which means we have a chance to stop him. Finally, Kim leaned forward. Mrs. Peterson, I need your help. I need you to keep Tyler talking. Keep him comfortable. Martinez and Reeves told me you have a recording device. I pulled it out. Good. Every word counts, every slip-up. We're going to build a case so airtight that he'll never see daylight again. What if he tries to hurt Emma again? What if? We have a plan for that. Hospital security is on alert. Nurses have been briefed. No one goes into Emma's room without proper ID and verification. And we've arranged for an undercover officer to be posted near her door. Tyler won't get a chance. I wanted to believe her, wanted to feel safe, but I kept thinking about Melissa Chen, about how Tyler had gotten away with murder once before. What if he did it again? Emma woke up 36 hours after surgery. I was sitting beside her bed. Tyler had gone to their house to grab some things and shower, when her eyes fluttered open. Emma, I breathed. Oh, sweetheart, can you hear me? Her eyes tried to focus, her lips moved. No sound came out at first, then, Mom? I'm here. I'm right here. What happened? You were in a car accident, but you're safe now. You're in the hospital and you're going to be okay. She tried to sit up, winced. Her face was so pale it was almost translucent, dark circles like bruises under her eyes. There was a cut on her lip I hadn't noticed before, and the bandage on her forehead couldn't hide the swelling beneath it. It hurts. I know. The doctors say that's normal. You had surgery, but you're doing great. Emma's eyes were clearer now, more focused. Tyler? My heart sank. He's at home getting cleaned up. He'll be back soon. No. Her hand gripped mine weakly. Mom, Tyler. What about him, honey? The brakes. I tried to stop, but couldn't. And before that, Mom, I'm so sorry. You were right about the vitamins. I stopped taking them 3 weeks ago. Started feeling better, clearer. I realized. Her voice broke. I realized you'd been right all along. I squeezed her hand gently. Tears welled up and spilled down my cheeks before I could stop them. It's okay. None of this is your fault. I need to tell you something about Tyler, about the money. She was getting agitated. The monitor started beeping faster. Emma, calm down. You need to rest. No. Listen, he's been lying about everything, his job, his family, everything. I found his first wife's death certificate in his desk drawer. He told me he'd never been married. I confronted him about it 2 days ago. He got so angry, Mom. He said... The door opened. Tyler walked in. Emma's entire body went rigid. Tyler's expression changed when he saw Emma was awake. For just a split second, I saw something flicker across his face. Not relief, not joy, but fear. Then the mask slipped back into place. Emma! Oh, thank God. Baby, you're awake. He rushed to the other side of the bed. Emma shrank away from him. Tyler didn't seem to notice, or pretended not to. I was so worried. The doctor said you might not, but you did. You're so strong. How are you feeling? Tired, Emma whispered. She wouldn't look at him. Of course you are. You've been through so much. Tyler reached for her hand. Emma pulled it away. The movement was small, but unmistakable. Tyler's smile faltered. Emma? I'm just sore. Everything hurts. Right, of course. Tyler glanced at me. Carol, would you mind giving us a minute? I'd like to talk to my wife alone. Actually, I said, I think Emma needs her rest. The nurse said, It's fine, Mom. Emma's voice was stronger now. You should get some coffee. Take a break. You've been here all night. She was trying to tell me something with her eyes. Trust me, I've got this. I didn't want to leave. Every instinct screamed at me to stay, but there was an undercover officer in the hallway. Cameras in the room. Emma would be safe. Okay, I'll be right outside if you need me. I walked out, my heart pounding. Found Martinez in the hallway. Emma's awake, I said, and she's scared of him. She pulled away when he tried to touch her. Martinez's expression hardened. The cameras are recording everything. Let's watch. She led me to a small security office where we could see Emma's room on a monitor. The audio was off, but we could see their body language. Tyler was talking, gesturing. Emma's face was expressionless, closed off. Then, Tyler said something that made Emma shake her head. He leaned closer. She pressed back against the pillows. I don't like this, Martinez muttered. She pulled out her radio. Security to ICU room 3, wellness check. A uniformed security guard appeared on the monitor, knocking on the door. Tyler straightened, smiled, waved him away. Everything's fine, just talking to my wife. The guard left. Tyler turned back to Emma. Whatever he said next made her face go pale. That's it. Martinez was already moving. I'm going in there. We burst through the door. Tyler jumped back from the bed, hands up. What's going on? He asked. Is something wrong? Just checking Emma's vitals, Martinez said smoothly. She moved to the monitors, checked the readings. Then, quietly, to Emma. Are you okay? Emma nodded, but her hands were shaking, trembling against the white hospital sheets. Martinez caught my eye. Something's wrong. Emma needs her rest, Martinez said firmly. I'm going to have to ask visitors to limit their time. Hospital policy for ICU patients. I'm her husband, Tyler protested. I understand, but she needs to rest. You can come back during visiting hours this evening. Tyler looked like he wanted to argue. Then he seemed to think better of it. Of course, whatever's best for Emma. He leaned down, tried to kiss her forehead. Emma turned her face away. Tyler's expression flickered again. Anger, quickly masked. I'll be back tonight, baby. I love you. Emma didn't respond. After Tyler left, Martinez closed the door. What did he say to you? Emma was shaking now, full body tremors. He knows I know, about Melissa, about the money, about everything. Emma's eyes filled with tears. He said if I tell anyone what I know, he'll make sure I don't survive the next accident. He said it would be so easy. Wrong medication, too much painkiller. Accidents happen in hospitals all the time. He'd threatened her, directly threatened her life. Did the cameras catch that? I asked Martinez. Audio might not be clear enough. He was probably whispering. Martinez pulled out her phone. But this changes things. I'm calling Reeves. Emma grabbed my hand. Mom, I'm so sorry. You tried to warn me and I didn't listen. I thought you were just being overprotective. I didn't see what he really was. Shh, it's okay. None of this is your fault. But it is. I chose him. I pushed you away. I gave him access to everything. My money, my life. I was so stupid. You weren't stupid. You were manipulated. I squeezed her hand. But you're safe now. We're going to make sure he can't hurt you. Emma's face crumpled. I was so scared, Mom. In the car, when the brakes didn't work, I knew it was him, and all I could think was that I'd never get to tell you I was sorry, that I'd never get to tell you I love you. I climbed onto the hospital bed as carefully as I could, mindful of the tubes and wires, and wrapped my arms around my daughter while she cried. She'd come so close to slipping away from me, but she was here now, alive, breathing. The detectives interviewed Emma for over an hour, recording everything. She told them about finding Melissa's death certificate, about confronting Tyler 2 days before the accident, about how his entire demeanor had changed, cold, threatening, not even pretending to be loving anymore. She told them about the life insurance he'd pressured her to buy, about how he'd been withdrawing money from her trust fund in small amounts, moving it to accounts she didn't have access to, about the fake pay stubs and bank statements he'd created to make her think he was employed, about how he'd isolated her from me, from her friends, from anyone who might have noticed what was happening. He told me you were jealous, Emma said, looking at me, that you'd never approved of him, that you were trying to come between us. And I believed him. God, Mom, I'm so sorry I believed him. It's what people like him do, Detective Kim said gently. They make you doubt everyone except them, make you dependent on them. It's textbook abuser behavior. We got a warrant for your house, Reeves added. Found the supplements in your bathroom cabinet. Sent them for testing. Preliminary results show high levels of thallium, exactly what we found in your blood work. We also found a laptop hidden in Tyler's home office with searches for untraceable poisons, life insurance payout after spouse death, and brake line sabotage. He wasn't even careful, Emma said bitterly. He didn't think he needed to be. He'd gotten away with it before. Kim pulled out her phone, showed Emma a photo of Melissa. Did he ever tell you anything about her? About what happened? No, nothing real. Emma stared at the photo. I only found out he'd been married at all because I found her death certificate in his desk drawer. When I asked him about it, he said it was ancient history, that she had died in a hiking accident and it was too painful to talk about. I believed him. Her voice broke. She's so young. How old was she? 26 when he killed her. They arrested Tyler that evening when he returned to the hospital for visiting hours. Emma and I watched from the security office as Reeves and 2 uniformed officers met him in the lobby. Tyler Peterson, you're under arrest for the attempted murder of Emma Peterson and the murder of Melissa Chen. Tyler's face went through a rapid series of expressions. Shock, confusion, indignation. This is insane. I don't know what Emma told you, but she's confused. The head injury. We have evidence, Mr. Peterson. Physical evidence, digital evidence, witness statements. You have the right to remain silent. They cuffed him, led him out as he shouted about lawyers and false accusations and how much he loved his wife. Emma watched it all with a blank expression. When he was gone, she turned to me. It's really over? It's really over. She started crying again. Relief, trauma, exhaustion, all of it pouring out at once. I held her, my brave, strong daughter who had survived what could have killed her. "What happens now?" she asked. "Now you heal, and we figure out the rest as we go." The trial was 4 months later. The evidence was overwhelming. The thallium in the supplements, the sabotaged brake lines, the laptop searches, the financial records showing Tyler systematically draining Emma's accounts, the phone records connecting him to an accomplice who'd helped establish alibis. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. First-degree murder of Melissa Chen. Attempted first-degree murder of Emma Peterson. Fraud, conspiracy. 2 life sentences without possibility of parole. Tyler's face when they read the verdict was the first genuine expression I'd ever seen from him. Not grief or fear, just cold, empty rage. He looked directly at Emma as they led him out. She didn't look away, didn't flinch. She'd survived him. We'd survived him. 6 months after the trial, Emma moved into a new apartment. Smaller than the house she'd shared with Tyler, but bright and airy and entirely hers. We had dinner there on a Sunday evening. Emma cooked, something she had rediscovered she loved doing now that no one was criticizing every meal or controlling what she ate. "This is delicious," I said, meaning it. "Thanks. I've been taking a cooking class, meeting new people, making friends." Emma smiled. "Real friends this time. People who actually care about me, not what I can give them." "I'm so proud of you." "Mom, I need to say something." Emma set down her fork. "Thank you for not giving up on me, for trusting your instincts even when I pushed you away, for being there that night at the hospital. You saved my life. You saved your own life. You were strong enough to survive." "We saved each other," Emma said softly, "and I'm not going to take that for granted again." Sunday dinners, every week, no cancellations, no excuses. "Every week," I agreed. We cleaned up together, talking about everything and nothing. Her new freelance projects, my plans to finally take that teaching certification course I'd always wanted. Small things, normal things. Beautiful, boring, wonderful, ordinary life. Driving home through the quiet streets, I thought about how close I'd come to losing her. How one paramedic's instinct and quick thinking had made all the difference. How sometimes the smallest moments, a recording made on impulse, a daughter's delirious words, a mother's refusal to stop fighting, can change everything. Emma was alive. The predator who'd tried to destroy her was behind bars, and we were rebuilding piece by piece. The relationship that had always been there, underneath the manipulation and lies, waiting for us to find our way back to each other. There was no fairy tale ending. Emma still woke up gasping in the middle of the night, still flinched when men she didn't know spoke to her, still carried scars, some visible, most not, that would probably never fully heal. But she was here, and after coming so close to losing everything, I'd learned that survival is just the beginning. Did you like my story? Which city are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. Stories like these aren't just about survival. They're about a mother's instinct, about trusting that voice that tells you something's wrong. If you believe in protecting our children, please hit that subscribe button. It's free and it helps us share more stories that matter. Thank you for listening. Until next time, trust your instincts. They might just save a life.